Welcome out to the Nerd Effect Podcast. We are on episode number 60. I am one of your hosts, Dustin Vancour, joined by my buddies,
Michael Morgan,
Mason Ireland.
Yay! Still no Nikki.
Still no Nikki.
Oh. That's sad.
Yes.
She'll be back, though.
Yes.
Give it time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Weren't we supposed to be doing initiative tonight?
Technically, yes.
Yeah. But no Nikki, so we can't.
Yeah. We will find something else to do in the interim, but I would suggest waiting for Nikki to get back to continue the adventures of Darius and Hela and...
Sean.
Yes. I was hoping you were going to do the full Sean Patrick Flanagan. But
Sean Patrick Flanagan.
There we go. So, yes. But we will resume their adventures when Nikki returns.
Yes.
So what are we doing in the meantime?
We'll try and come up with topic shows such as this one and possibly have guests.
Yay. So, like, if you're out there listening and you want to be a guest on our show, you should, like, contact us and stuff.
Very apropos to this show, though, Dan Feldmeyer does have a Kickstarter going right now, by the way. He is putting together an art book that you can purchase through Kickstarter.
Awesome.
It's a cool little mini book that he's got coming out. I think it's either said 4x6 or 5x7. Can't remember. Sorry. But it's
Well,
Kickstarter.
5x7 would be digest, so that's probably it.
Okay. So the we'll get that link up on our website soon, and the
And on
Facebook
the
page.
Faceballs.
Faceballs.
If you get that reference, I'll chop you.
Yes. The Schwartz is strong. Wait, no. May the Schwartz be with you.
No.
The Schwartz Awakens.
I thought that was like a Faceballs/Baseballs type
No.
reference. No?
No.
Oh, I missed it then. What's the reference? Now you gotta tell me.
Nope.
Oh.
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
That way it doesn't spoil it. Just because I want to see if anyone else actually gets the reference.
Okay. Sounds good. If you know the reference, mail us. Feedback at nerdeffect.com. Okay. So, this episode of the Nerd Effect Podcast, we're going to be talking about crowdsourcing. Specifically around the sites like Indiegogo, Kickstarter, GoFundMe. There's a new one out called Fig, which is pretty cool. And we're going to talk about some of the awesomeness, our personal thoughts on it, the failures. God knows there's been some.
Yeah. And the awesome successes.
Yes. So, since this topic was kind of brought up by Mike, would you like to go into it?
Okay. Exploding Kitties. Yay.
I believe the game was Exploding Kittens.
Which we recorded for a video podcast on this show.
Yes, we did. Yes. So Nikki got in on the Kickstarter for Exploding Kittens, and we played it. And Mason kind of kicked our asses, didn't he?
Dude, he annihilated us because he kept fucking saving cards.
Yeah, it's a valid strategy.
It was a very valid strategy.
Kind of feel like a camper, but it was a valid strategy. Camping's a valid. Yeah, of course. Granted, in league sometimes, like when I'm jungling, if I know I'm putting someone on tilt, I will set up a fucking tent in their lane and wait for them.
As a non-league player, I have no idea what the fuck you just said, but I can assume what you're talking about. Just based on the terminology you just used.
Yeah.
So Exploding Kittens, we did play that as part of our podcast once.
It was a
video.
completely fun game. It was hilarious. It was a lot of fun to play.
The other one that we played was a Kickstarter too, Super Fight.
Super Fight, also a Kickstarter game.
There's also a Kickstarter game that was very successful. I think the reason Exploding Kittens did so well is they also had the backing of The Onion, which is a pretty popular satirical website.
I think Exploding Kittens would have succeeded without The Onion, but nowhere near to the same degree.
No.
But having The Onion's blessing / getting mentioned on The Onion, because there's...
Well, it was The Onion's artwork and The Onion's like satirical sense of humor that was built into the game.
Exactly. I think that really helped push it to that height and that extreme that it got to.
Mm-hmm. And it came with a really cool package of stuff too, like the box meows when you open it.
Yep.
and has like a personal greeting for whoever bought it,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
That was some of the special things
Yeah.
that due to add-ons and stretch goals.
yes.
And Reading Rainbow.
Yes.
Yes.
That is still my favorite. That it funded as well as it did.
Well, if you're gonna do that, then or do you want? Because I have like a site here that lists the most successful Kickstarter projects.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go through this.
Okay, so the first one was Reading Rainbow. If you don't know about this, like it was literally funded within 2 hours of it posting, and it actually just went live like about a month ago. And I saw the actual campaign video and what they've done with it, and it looks fucking cool. Like, literally imagine the show as a website. So it's like LeVar Burton's like on all these field trips to like NASA and the White House and stuff like that, and kind of giving you these cool tours of places. Also, it's basically a free library of like some 100,000 books, kids' books that can be read online and it's also got a built-in curriculum.
Yep.
For children that they can actually log onto with their parents and actually like track the stuff that they do that can be used at schools, and it's fucking cool. It is a great website, and I'm hoping that they use it to its fullest advantage, really get it out there to the education system. Its final payout was almost $5.5 million, which is well deserving, because I think all they were asking for was $1 million to begin with.
Something like that. I mean, it was by no means the least expensive to fund Kickstarter.
Right.
But so far, at least in my opinion, the most deserving to fund.
Yes, and the fact that it didn't go to something frivolous, I mean, supersonic headphones are fantastic, but it's a thing.
It's a luxury item.
It's
It's a toy. It's not
right.
teaching kids literacy at all grade levels through elementary school and free, so that kids from all over the world and places that don't normally places in school districts that can't normally afford books can access them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
The next one is the Veronica Mars movie. That got fucking sourced really quick. That had yeah. So Veronica Mars had a huge following. I never actually watched the show.
I have to admit, neither did I.
But
Totally clueless.
yeah. But I like Kristen Bell. I think she's a cool actress, and
Yeah.
she's hilarious, and I think should play Harley Quinn in a Batman movie. But
But we're getting Margot Robbie.
yes, who's also fine. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great. So yeah, that was sourced at $5.7 million.
Yeah. Which, if you think about it, they got $5.7 million. How much did they end up getting total? Was it the $5.7 million?
Which one?
The
Reading Rainbow?
no,
Oh, $5.7 million for Veronica Mars.
for Veronica Mars.
Yes.
They made the movie on $5.7 million. And, I was like, someone I used to follow on YouTube who he did Geek and Sundry for a while, he was a big fan. And he talked about like when he got his DVD and stuff, or his Blu-ray, sorry. But, like, I think it was cool that they put it out there to see if the fans truly wanted it. The fans wanted it. They were able to make a movie for the fraction of a budget of a modern Hollywood blockbuster movie, but they knew it was going to be made. The money was paid by the fans. They knew the fans were going to get the movie, and it still went to theaters in some areas and made money there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a good testament to how you can judge interest of things using Kickstarter.
Yeah. Because even if the Kickstarter doesn't pay out, you have a good idea of what that would have,
Right.
entailed. Next one I had no clue about at all until just now, but Neil Young's Pono music player.
Which I have heard about that music player. Utter load of crap.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this says. So they were asking for $399 for the player itself. It says, music legend Neil Young started Pono with the belief that if you wanted to hear the music the way it was meant to be heard, your standard issue MP3 player or smartphone just couldn't cut it. The Pono music player is designed to provide what is promised is, quote unquote, the best possible listening experience of your favorite digital music. Pono Music raised $6.2 million, or 778% of its funding goal. Today, the $400 Pono player failed to set the world on fire. It commanded a premium price point for an increase in music quality that most people couldn't even hear. And the Ars Technica referred to the Pono as a tall, refreshing drink of snake oil in a review.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to blame Neil Young because yay for sirens.
This place is by no means soundproof, by the way.
I don't want to blame Neil Young.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand the idea of wanting the idea of the pure music, like as good as it can sound. Of course, I also believe that is the only way to do that is to have a lossless digital file of the music.
Mm-hmm.
Your records
A FLAC
don't
file of some sort.
Yeah, your records don't sound pure and like the artist wanted the music to sound. Artists didn't want hisses and pops in their music. You're just deluding yourself, you vinyl fools, into thinking that they did.
Yeah.
But the reality is that a FLAC file has a whole bunch of, I wouldn't call it necessarily garbage information, but it's information that's outside of the human's ability to hear.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of information and stuff like that in that file that, quite simply, if you do a good enough MP3, you're fine. You do a 256 kilobit or, a 384, whatever the half step is between 256 and 512 on an MP3, only serious audio files using serious headgear and a serious play, like a hardcore massive player with good amplifiers and stuff, are going to hear a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time you can call horse hockey on a lot of the audio files and how what things sound. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate good sound in a good pair of headphones, but there's only so much a human ear can actually hear.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Up next is the Ouya video game console.
I wanted the Ouya to succeed.
I did too. So it states the campaign for the Ouya video game console was supposed to revolutionize the gaming market, based on the Android operating system, and designed by famed industrial designer Yves Bayard.
It did look pretty. I'm just going to put that out.
It did look pretty. It was a nice, cool little, it was a cube, and then it had the little bottom corners cut out. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Ouya raised $8.6 million from Kickstarter backers on August 8th of 2012, plus a $15 million round of venture capital from Kleiner Perkins. Today, Ouya has turned into a cautionary tale for Kickstarter backers. As a series of shipping delays and other mishaps, Ouya finally got into the hands of fans, who were turned off at the underwhelming hardware and a lack of good games that played well on the system. Despite a distribution deal with the retailers like Best Buy and Target, Ouya is reported to be in dire financial straits and looking for a buyer.
Yep.
Womp. Up next, Exploding Kittens.
Yep. Boom.
This one's pretty straightforward. Almost 8.8 million raised. Exploding Kittens is a party card game co-created by internet cartoonist Matthew Inman, better known as the Oatmeal.
Or the oatmeal, not the onion. Yeah.
And also holds the record for the fastest funded Kickstarter. Today, the game is fully play-tested and ready to ship to Kickstarter backers in July. Now, granted, this article comes from 2015, so
yeah.
Inman told his fans in the cartoon, which we already had it in our hands, and it was pretty fun, as previously discussed.
Yes.
By the way, if you want to watch us play Exploding Kittens, just go to nerdeffect.com or our YouTube channel. You'll find it. Yeah. It's fun. Oh yes, I really wanted one of these for a long time. I ended up getting the Surge just because I like the Fitbit aspect of it, but the Pebble. It was kind of a cool idea of a watch because it kind of had the same technology as kind of like an e-reader on the screen.
Yeah, the e-ink page.
Mm-hmm. The original Pebble smartwatch uses an e-ink screen like an Amazon Kindle to save battery. Was funded May 18th of 2012 for almost 10.3 million, a whopping 10,000% over its original goal of $100,000, which makes it the third largest grossing Kickstarter project of all time. Today, the Pebble watches have found their fan base. The Apple Watch is pricey and only works with iPhones, but Pebble watches are cheaper, around $200 depending on the model. Works with Android phones and gets better battery life. And thanks to Apple Watch Mania, Pebble looks downright visionary. They also, and since this article, Pebble's actually released a color screen version of their
Yes, they have.
of their Pebble, which is actually pretty nifty looking. Again,
And there's also a ton of Android-based watches now, too.
yeah, there
Which
was
are often less expensive and more fully capable than the Apple Watch.
yes, the Apple Watch had kind of a lackluster launch. Like there was Apple Mania, but it was like I think people expected more from it.
Yeah.
Of course, people thought about the Galaxy Gear as well too when it first launched.
Yeah.
But
There's a reason I like to refer to them as iFucks. Fucks with a PH.
oh, cause phone
Yeah.
fucks.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. All right. Next one, the coolest cooler travel cooler. I don't know if you guys have actually seen this or not.
Apple cooler.
So imagine like the traditional like red cooler like you would take take camping, but it's got a bunch of fucking attachments and shit that come to it. So
The Swiss Army cooler.
so here we go. So it says the coolest cooler is a project to make a 21st century cooler that's actually cooler. You know, the phrase. It is a portable party disguised as a cooler with a built-in Bluetooth speaker, an optional blender add-on, and space to tuck away plates and other picnic goodies. It raised $13.2 million, and it comes to 26,000% of its goal on August 29th of 2014. Today, Coolest sent out every version of the cooler out to some early Kickstarter backers, but the final version is still being worked on for a July 2015 release. To its credit, Coolest has a site that is where interested parties can see what exactly the cooler project is at, including pictures and designs of the tooling projects. So, again, I don't know where this stands as of 2016, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, this is the color screen one. So the next one is actually the Pebble Time smartwatch. So the actual color screen version. So Pebble holds the all-time Kickstarter record thanks to Pebble Time, its newest generation smartwatch. It was propelled on the back of the Apple Watch Frenzy to first place with 20.3 million-ish raised for a campaign ending in March 27th, 2015. The watches are expected to ship later. And the last one is not there. It's actually an advertisement for another list. So yeah, that's kind of the top funded Kickstarters. Specifically Kickstarter. This didn't go into like Indiegogo and GoFundMe.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, most of my experience with Kickstarter is very limited because I don't just like look at Kickstarter and be like, "Oh, that's interesting." I'm sure it's fun to do. But like I mostly stay around the tabletop game and video game area. And the video game area, there's been some dicey stuff that's happened. And there's also been some great successes. Like some of the great successes would be like Pillars of Eternity. If you like the 2.5D top-down isometric role-playing games, a la Baldur's Gate,
Syndicate.
And
Syndicate's probably more top-down.
Yeah. But like Baldur's Gate and Planescape Torment and all of those, this is a updated version of it. Better graphics. I mean, the sprites. The graphics of it are better. They're actually 3D rendered, things like that. But ended up being an awesome game. Of course, it was also made by Obsidian and Black Isle, who are not novices at making video games. Black Isle made a lot of the original D&D video games from the 80s and 90s, and Obsidian is basically the remnants of Interplay, who made Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
So these are not video game novices. They knew what they were doing when they made this game. You know, Wasteland 2.
So kind of like what we were talking about. They have a legacy.
Yeah.
Like with the Onion, or like for the other one that we didn't mention earlier was Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
That got funded.
Yeah.
And that was
He said the Onion again, didn't he?
Yeah, instead of the oatmeal.
Did I say? Oh yeah, you're right. Oatmeal. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. The Oatmeal.
Yeah.
Dope.
But
My
anyway,
bad, sorry.
yeah. But Mighty Number 9, Wasteland 2, there's a lot of there have been some amazing video game successes out there with Kickstarter. I wish I could remember the name right now of the Cautionary Tale one, but there was a game promised a lot. Oh, that's right. It was by Peter Molyneux. So, of course, it promised the world. This was after he left Lion's Head. And the game promised the world and ended up being chipped back until it was basically a free-to-play power defense game, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. So the backers were a little bit pissed. By a little bit, I mean a lot. Mm-hmm. But yeah. And then a lot of the other ones for me are like I said, tabletop gaming stuff that I know about. And there's been some great successes. A recent one would be the game Drop Fleet Commander, which is a space battle game based in the world of another game, Drop Zone Commander, both by Hawk War Games. And they were going to produce the game one way or the other, but the Kickstarter allowed them to speed up production. It allowed them to market it basically to an audience, things like that, which I think is another, which is another thing for Kickstarter. Kickstarter is marketing to an audience, engaging response. So, they essentially got the response they were expecting and hoping for. And then there was other ones like Protoss Games did Alien versus Predator.
Yep.
And that did not go as well as Protoss wanted because Fox is a bunch of fucktards. I
love you don't hold back calling anybody a fucking name. Fucking fucktards.
Well,
I
Fox
think
didn't.
we need to develop a new phrase, Fox-tards, which is worse than fucktards.
Did you see that fucking gif I put up of Andrew WK just like starting to like fucking roll his eyes and like frown in the middle of a Fox interview?
Yeah.
I was like, this is the appropriate response to
All Fox.
all Fox interviews.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But so Protoss, they make game. There's actually they're kind of one of those companies with multiple branches, but one of their branches produces board games and war games. Another branch produces miniatures, not just for Protoss, but because you can, I could send in a figure and say, "Hey Protoss, here's $20,000. Make me up a mold and produce 10,000 of these or whatever for me." And they'd be like, "Awesome! Thanks for the money. Here's your miniature back in 6 weeks." They'll produce for anybody. In fact, you can actually go on and buy custom heads. You can take front and side and rear pictures of your head and get your head modeled in 32 or 28 millimeter scale, so you can do head swaps for minis with your own face. But
I've seen where they do that with action figures too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Protoss makes games. They got the license to do AVP from Fox. Everything that they made still had to be vetted by Fox. For looks, to making sure it was good for the brand, things like that. There are things in the Aliens versus Predator box that aren't in the movies or in the Aliens movies or whatever, or not Aliens versus Predator, just Aliens. Sorry, It's just based off of aliens. I apologize. But there's like for example, there's a type of alien that's, or not alien. No, sorry. What am I thinking? Aliens versus Predator. I'm not thinking Aliens versus Predator. Oh yeah, no, that is Protoss. Aliens versus Predator. Yeah, sorry. There's also one for Terminator. I apologize. And I'm just getting the two confused in my head. But Protoss does the AVP one. All that's correct. So, but Fox wanted it released to the general public on a certain date, and they wouldn't take no for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
So the game was out in general release before all the Kickstarter backers had their copies, because they forced Protoss's hand into putting it out into retail stores before the Kickstarter backers got theirs. And that is the problem with, like, in their case, dealing with a big company that has say and control over things, because Protoss didn't want to do that. They've come out and talked about it now. They were like, we fought tooth and nail to get everything out to the Kickstarter backers first, but Fox was like, no, we want it on the shelves by this date. So to be able to fulfill their pledges to their Kickstarters and actually get the game to them, they had to put it out on shelves, or they would have had the license pulled and would have had to stop all production. And then the Kickstarter backers, they would have had to go through okay, who got it, who got what, and try to figure out who to refund how much to and everything. And that would have just been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, my favorite one, I think, is the Raging Heroes. Toughest Girls Galaxy. You got miniature sets they've been doing through Kickstarter that are just fucking phenomenal looking. Yeah.
They're kind of sort of meant to be replacements for some stuff from Warhammer and Warhammer 40K.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, it's a good way just to make, like, if you're a miniature company and what you want to make is miniatures and you don't necessarily want to make a game, going to Kickstarter with your miniatures is a good way to do it, because then if you get noticed, especially if someplace like Beasts of War notices you will get your audience and they will buy your miniatures from you.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, they've been going gangbusters with that.
Yep.
Let's see here. Shall we talk about the Gizmodo 9 most disgraceful crowdfunding failures of 2015?
Alrighty.
Boom, what do you got?
I remember this thinking, how is this even going to work? But the Laser Razor. I don't know if you remember this. Piece of shit.
No.
Looks like a traditional razor, like a face razor.
Yeah, blade razor.
It's got a little like red beam that goes across the edge of it. It's supposed to shave your hair, but it was like completely lackluster and just barely did anything. So a company called Scarp raised $4 million for its laser razor. Then Kickstarter pulled the laser razor because it didn't even have anything close to resembling a working prototype. I don't know if you're familiar with how rare it is for Kickstarter to reject something, let alone a viral moneymaker, but it's akin to DiCaprio turning down a model orgy. Rare and unprecedented. Scarp, undaunted, relaunched his campaign on Indiegogo, a.k.a. trashy Kickstarter.
Yeah, pretty much.
And collected $442,000. The campaign has already pushed its shipment date back to backers and complaining that it's not responsive to requests on updates. That may be because the razor prototype it came up with can only cut 1 or 2 hairs at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Let's see. The Xano.
Ah, the Xano. Yes.
Okay.
If you ever thought to yourself, damn, I want a baby drone. Just a little guy zooming around through the air. You're not alone. The Torking Group's Wee Drone was a Kickstarter hit, scoring $3.4 million. Baby Drone was a smashing success until people tried to fly them. While objectively adorable, the Xano flagrantly sucked. Torking Group declared bankruptcy, backers were down and out. The debacle was so embarrassing for Kickstarter, it hired freelance journalists to investigate exactly what all went wrong.
Yes. Google the article. It's really in-depth, really goes into a lot of stuff about it. It's really good. But oh man. So the thing with the Xeno story,
yeah, elaborate for us.
yeah, well, a big part of it, from what I was seeing, is that they just did not have the engineering to pull it off. Just period.
Right.
It was supposed to be a tiny drone with a camera, a little LED light display, so it could do a countdown. So like you could do selfies and stuff. So it would do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, and then take the picture. So you can get everybody in a group shot and all that stuff. You know when it's going to take a picture. And then it was also supposed to have a guidance system, so it could follow you around and not crash into everything. And it just, everything failed. The guidance failed. The camera sucked. It was just such a failure because they just did not have the engineering needed to really pull it off.
Yeah, I got a picture of it here. It looks like it fit about this. The palm of your hand is about.
Yeah,
as big as,
it's a tiny drone.
yeah.
Oh, and then yeah, another part of it was they had because they were falling behind, even with all the money they made off of the Kickstarter. They kept going up in their cost because they were just screwing it up, and so they eventually ended up opening up additional orders where you could get an advance order. So the advance order people were getting them before the people who initially got the Kickstarter, which was pissing people off.
Yeah.
And then the people who actually got their drones, that things didn't work worth a shit. And when they finally went bankrupt, all of the drones, when you turn them on, had to do this little update thing through Wi-Fi, and it would update to the server. And when they pulled the server, all the drones died. Would not work anymore. Yeah. So everybody who had the money and had one,
Just have a hunk of metal now with fan blades on it.
It's just completely ridiculous.
Oh man! All right, next huge failure, Crystal Wash 2.0.
That sounds horrible.
Crystal Wash 2.0. Kickstarter cracked down on the laser razor, but it let this obvious marketing scam slip through the cracks. Backers are complaining about the pushed back shipping date and the lack of communication from its creators since its campaign for a thoroughly debunked pseudoscientific product that promises to clean clothes by shrinking water molecule clusters. I'm guessing they'll be even angrier if they ever get the balls because they don't work. While not a failure in the money-making sense, these con artists took $268,000 for what is, again, a well-recognized scam. It is a disgraceful failure because it shows how lax crowdfunding sites can be about quality. It looks like those dryer balls, almost like they could stick in your dryer. The Annihilator customizable car.
What?
There are many different flavors of failure in the world of crowdfunding, but the Annihilator Dream Cars brand of nutcase campaign stood out this year of daring to ask $1 million for the whippiest vaporware on the internet. Our sister site, Jalopnik, this is coming from Gizmodo, is pretty convinced this is a joke campaign, a bonkers parody of the fantastical claims customizable car campaigns make. If Jalopnik, I cannot pronounce that, Jalopnik's theory is correct, and the campaign is a joke, the poor souls who donated to this thing are still among this year's biggest crowdfunding failures. The dude who just wanted to play Magic the Gathering. He was only asking for $2 in donations. Oh no! You know he. Wait, hold on.
That's not even a pack.
Let's see.
It's not even a booster pack.
The dude who just wanted to play Magic the Gathering. What's sadder, the fact that someone made a Kickstarter with the objective to get more people to play Magic the Gathering that only got $2 in donations, or the Kickstarter suspended it after it was featured on the website? Your Kickstarter sucks. Oh, it was featured on the website. Your Kickstarter sucks. So I had 2 backers for $2, and he had a goal of $250.
See, but here's my question: how did he not have people to play with? It's fucking Magic.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here.
In Baker, Oregon, for God's sakes.
That's true. There was a shit ton of kids there.
Friendly
playing.
local gaming store, Friday night. That's all you need.
Yes. Let's see. The Asylum playing cards. The Kickstarter failed so hard this year that it was court ordered to pay back some of the money it collected and fined. While the campaign itself happened back in 2012, the failure came from its fullest fruition this year when Altius Management was fined for failing to live up to its promises, which is especially impressive because all it promised was to print some fucking playing cards. Oh.
That's a bad screw up right there.
Yeah, that's all it is. In fact, it's licensed by Bicycle playing cards, and it's just a box of playing cards, and the picture is like a lady in a fucking with the
Straight
jacket. That's all it's on the cover.
Jackets.
Yep, 56 cards, including 2 jokers, double backed, and special X card printed by the United States Playing Card Company on Bicycle paper stock.
Yeah.
So interesting. Chicago murder suspects GoFundMe. Oh, Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke was charged with his first-degree murder this November for killing 17-year-old Laquan McDonald. Shortly after his arrest, his wife tried to crowdfund enough money to get him out on bail on GoFundMe. GoFundMe shut the campaign down since it has a policy of not allowing campaigns in support of people alleged to be involved with criminal activities. But it looks like before it was shut down, it managed to raise $6,880 of the $80,000 it needed. And I think, is this the last one? Nope, not the last one. The Greek bailout fund. Greece had a bad financial year when it couldn't repay an IMF loan for a whopping $1.7 billion. The solution definitely wasn't crowdfunding, but a British guy decided to try anyway. Did he solve Greece's financial crisis? Emphatic no. Did he raise awareness of Greece's financial crisis? Maybe. Did he raise awareness of getting attention through gimmicky, unhelpful novelty crowdfunding campaigns? Definitely. All right, this is the last one. It looks like guy who needed a fleshlight. $0 raised, $64 goal. When you gaze too long into the abyss gazes back, and it's a 0% funded Philly-based generosity.com plea for a fleshlight.
So,
Whatever
controversy.
Well, I was going to say, so basically no one even wanted to help him masturbate.
Nope.
No.
Probably because he had his own mitts and fleshlight's a novelty item.
It's true. We did come equipped with all the gear to masturbate.
Dope.
It's true. Thanks, Evolution.
Yes, thank you, Evolution. We appreciate you.
Thanks for giving me thumbs.
So, controversy.
Controversy.
Yes.
I love controversy. Let's hear it.
Triton.
Yes.
All right. So, if you haven't heard of the Triton, it's a diving mouthpiece, which is supposed to be artificial gills. It's just a piece you stick in your mouth. It's got two blank structures on the side, and it supposedly works like gills, gets oxygen out of the water so you can breathe for like up to 45 minutes.
Right.
It was on Kickstarter, and let's see, where did it? On Kickstarter, it raised close to $900,000, so almost $1 million. Before skeptics in the scientific and diving communities prompted the company to refund all of the money they had raised thus far. So basically, scientists and experts were looking at it and going, no, this isn't possible, for all their scientific reasons. I've also heard that they had, they showed, videos on the Kickstarter page, but it was you'd have swimming around in a pool with this device in their mouth and supposedly using it to breathe, but it would only be for short durations, so you never got the feel that they were actually using it, things like that. since then, they have restarted their campaign on Indiegogo. Indiegogo, yes. So
Get a
Indiegogo.
Kickstarter.
So they're redoing it there. They have stated that they have part of their technology is it's got swippable liquid oxygen cylinders, which combine with the other components to let the user breathe while they're underwater.
That doesn't sound dangerous at all, having liquid oxygen strapped to your face.
No, not at all.
Yeah. They state that, the guys that are making it, Triton and doing the funding thing, they're stating that they don't want to give out too many details because they're trying to protect their proprietary technologies.
Lies.
And, yeah. And that some of the experts were looking at, some of the, like the battery they were saying that they were going to have built into this. And experts were going through figuring out how much power the battery would require. And if they really do have a battery that can supply the amount of power needed for that much oxygen conversion, then they could be making millions selling this battery technology to the cell phone market. Because it ridiculously outperforms anything on the market.
If this battery actually existed, it would outperform all batteries in all portable things.
And chances are Elon Musk would have developed it first.
Yes.
He's already making home batteries, for Christ's sake.
Giving away the patents.
Yeah.
So they're still trying to make it happen. It doesn't look promising. But
I say it doesn't look promising.
If they do it, great. But
if they actually get it to work,
my breath.
kudos for
Literally.
them.
Yeah.
If they get it. Oh, that was just so bad. I can't even think anymore. No, if they manage to make it to work, great. But the problem is that the science is against them. Just simply engineering the battery is the problem. So yeah, if they got it to work though, it would be cool. But they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's actually using liquid oxygen tanks, one, liquid oxygen is stupid expensive and illegal to buy in most areas. And also, you couldn't touch it because it would kill you by freezing you.
Freeze your face.
Yeah.
Have any of you seen Jason X?
No.
There's a scene in that where Jason takes a scientist, dunks their head in liquid nitrogen, I'm guessing, and then proceeds to shatter their head on the desk.
Yeah. Liquid nitrogen or liquid oxygen, either one would suffice.
Super
Liquid
fucking
oxygen-
cold, I think is what we're
Liquid
trying to
oxygen
get
is
at.
actually colder than liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, apparently they got a YouTube video showing somebody using a device underwater for like 12 minutes. And
Which is impressive if
they're
that's
not
true.
swimming around. They're just sitting there, I think.
But still.
Yeah, so they're stationary with a stationary camera. So it's kind of like, well, all right, did they rig a tube up along his back where you can't see it?
Yeah.
Like what? So, there's still some controversy on it. If they had video of somebody swimming around with it for 10 plus minutes, that might be a little bit more, all right, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just been kind of fishy.
Fishy. What's with you and the...
How can you not do a show like this and not be punny?
There's actually a Tumblr called Kickfail, and it's just a bunch of failed Kickstarters. It's kickfail.tumblr.com. The one that stood out to me immediately was one called Precious Metals for Your Precious Bits, which is underwear that's got silver lining, literally, to help protect your junk from cell phone radiation. That's not tinfoil hat. That's tinfoil undies right there.
Yeah.
That's Jesus. I give them credit though. They look fashionable. They're shiny.
He might want a pair anyway just to get the bling on.
Yeah.
So instead of tidy whities, you got tidy shinies?
Yes.
Yeah. I dig it.
Do they have them in boxers?
Yeah, they men and women's.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like in. They look like boxer briefs.
Okay.
Okay.
But not full on boxers.
Nope. How about meat gum? Chewing gum that tastes like meat.
You.
No, because I'd want to swallow it. And 2, isn't it already in Japan?
Probably.
If you want something with a wacky flavor, Japan's probably already done it.
Oh my god.
Wasabi Kit Kats? Really popular, actually. Sake Kit Kats? Limited edition.
Game called Hello Hitler. Basically, it should be renamed Naziopoly, where it's Nazi history in the form of a Monopoly-style game called Hello Hitler.
I'm glad that didn't fund.
Well, I don't... Let's see.
I'm glad that didn't fund. That is my belief, and I'm sticking to it.
Yes. Cardboard boxes for cats.
I think it was just a cardboard box, man. I'm just saying.
324 backers, $16,000 raised. But funding was still unsuccessful. But it's like a blue box with a cat sitting in it is all the picture is. Oh, mercy. One of the other newest crowdfunding sites is one called Fig.co. I'm a fan of this one. This one is actually specifically built towards gamers, where it picks 2 games for their campaigns and highlights them and then tries to get them funded. Most specifically, the one that I want to point out right now is Jay and Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch, which is, so far, I think it's just a mobile app game that it's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up from, like arcades.
Yeah.
And like this is
la
like
Double Dragon.
all Double Dragon, Final Fight, so on and so forth.
Yes.
But I think there it has like a combo system in it that uses insults. So you gotta like tap on the screen to choose a specific insult, and you get better combos for the best insults that you get. And there's boss battles, and you're at a mall, of course.
Of course. Is Jay and Silent Bob?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, Bluntman and Chronic.
No, it's Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, it's Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jay and Silent Bob. It's just called Chronic Blunt Punch, so it has nothing to do with Bluntman and Chronic.
Except for the obvious stoner references.
Yeah. The other game that they're trying to get, well, I think they're back. It looks like they got actually more games on here. There's 6 games in total going on Fig right now. Consortium, The Tower, Rock Band 4 for PC, plus the Rock Band Network. Jay and Silent Bob, Chronic Blunt Punch, Psychonauts 2.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anchors in the Drift, and Outer Wilds. So those are the 6 games that got highlighted right now on Fig.co. It looks like Chronic Blunt Punch has already been funded. It ended at the end of March, met its goal by $45,000.
Nice.
Woot woot.
So we'll be getting some Jay and Silent Bob action going on.
A mobile game, yep.
Sweet.
Yay. Oh, yeah. That was one of my other ones I liked. The micro 3D printer.
Oh, that's one with the cell phone, right? Where you just fucking put it right on top of a cell phone and it
No.
builds on it? No?
No, you're thinking something else. This is an
Okay.
actual, here, little cube. So it's a tiny little 3D printer that's designed for home use. It's like $400.
Interesting.
Yep. But that was a successful Kickstarter, which they now do full production on.
Nice.
Yep. You've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It pops up in my Facebook feed all the time
Yep.
saying you could print minis.
And I'm like, yes, I know. I want you.
Because I don't need
you.
anything bigger than that. I just want that. Speaking of 3D printed stuff, Nikki actually had a buddy who printed out a couple of bow ties for her that are really cool. That they like clip to the button on your top of your shirt.
Yeah.
And she has a TARDIS one and a Furiosa one. That's pretty cool. She wore those at CWI
Nice.
Comic-Con. And she also has a 3D printed Weeping Angel on her desk. So now she's at work and can't blink. So our eyes get really dry now.
Yes.
Let me ask: have you guys actually had any personal experience with any crowdfunding sites or anything like that?
Jinx.
Huh?
Jason Dudley.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he had his book that he did on Kickstarter.
Had him on the show.
Yep, we had him on the show.
Yep.
And that ended up being successful. You know, not by a lot, but it made its goal, and he was able to get the books out.
And he wasn't asking for a whole lot either.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It was like $2,500 or something like that, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Not much.
just enough to get it printed and made.
Yep.
Yep. So, yeah, it was pretty cool that worked out.
Mhm.
I was saying there's been a lot I've wanted to back.
Yeah,
but
there's been a lot.
Part of my problem is that like I don't want to go halfway.
I know you want to get like the one that at least gets you the object.
Well, besides that, it's like for a lot of the ones I'd want to do, it's like war games.
Yeah,
and stuff.
With the board game ones,
like it's like so. Yeah, a lot of them have that dollar thanks donation type thing going on, but like it's like, okay, I'm interested in this war game. The thing about getting into a war game, especially like when you're the first person into it in an area, is you're responsible for that game's livelihood in that area, essentially. So you need to like be like, okay, bam, I got the rule book, I got 2 starter sets, I've got them painted nice, I've got terrain, I've got the game mat, I've got all the stuff so I can show someone how to play this game.
So what you're saying is you don't want to just spend the $25 and get 2 starter kits. You want to spend the like $200.
I don't want to spend the $50 and just get 2 starter kits.
Yeah,
or a starter kit depending on the game. I want to spend the $200, $300, $400 and get
the full
on experience. Like some of them, like some of the stuff that some of them do would be cool. Like there's been some of them where it's like, if you do $1,000, we will. We will help you. With your help, we will design a figure, like a character figure in the game and stuff, and you will get credit, but I don't necessarily want to go that far. But like, I always want the full shebang of the game. I don't want, I don't necessarily like. Some of them are like, you'll get all 6 armies. I don't necessarily want all 6 armies, but I want 2 or 3 armies. I want the real rule book. I don't just want the PDF. So like. I mean, I've never had enough money laying around necessarily for what I wanted to get. However, there is one coming up where what I want to get is only $40. So I'm probably going to invest in that one.
Yeah. See, any of the ones where it's just the games or the stuff I want to get, like the Conan one, I was like, oh my god, those minis they're making were awesome.
I can't wait till
you need like thousands
I've
of
got
dollars
one
to get
show you
those.
later.
Oh, okay.
It's a game called Mythos.
Okay.
Cthulhu 1920s skirmish game.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Miniatures are pimp. Oh, my God.
Tara just did a backing for the Cthulhu for Pathfinder Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So that's been funded. I think she said it was by the guy who did the Cthulhu role-playing game.
Yes.
Or he had a hand in it.
Yeah, he was one of the writers for Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
The newest version of Call of Cthulhu, I should say.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, but like the one I'm going to be I'm probably going to be backing later this month. It ends on the 24th. It's $40 for what I want, and one of the war games that I'm getting into is called Guild Ball, and Guild Ball is basically violent fantasy soccer.
Oh, kind of like Blood Bowl,
except for soccer instead of football. And it's not gridded like Blood Bowl was. It's just you're using measuring tapes. You can move in any direction, like a modern war game. But like it's cool because like each side you only need 6 figures to field a full team, and the play mat's 3x3. So it's quick, it's fast. Like I see multiple games like people playing it on the internet, and an average game lasts 40 to 50 minutes.
You know what they should do?
And
sorry.
Anti-material rifle.
But Like
I
so,
got really excited.
So like Guild Ball was actually a Kickstarter that went really well. Like Steam Forged Games, the guys who make Guild Ball, weren't expecting Guild Ball to do as well as it did. They were expecting a decent amount of response in the UK where they're located, because football. I mean soccer. I mean football. We're the only country that calls it soccer, so.
Because reasons.
Because there's a stupid game that people call football. But because there's no really foot and ball in that game. It's more of it should be called handball. The ball is manipulated with your hands.
There's kicking.
Yeah, but it's mostly manipulated by the hands. The quarterback, the center, the running backs, the wide receivers, they're all using their hands. There's one man who kicks.
And guess what he's called? The kicker.
Yes. So I don't see why we call it football when it's more of a handball. But whatever. Whereas in soccer, aka football, there's only one person who can use his hands, the goalie. Mm-hmm. Everybody else has to kick it.
It's almost like the exact opposite.
It is. And it's more appropriately named everywhere but here. Oh, it's right. Americans are contrarian. That's why.
Because we use not the metric system.
Yeah, that's another one of our problems. But like Guild Ball took off on Kickstarter. Huge. It was originally going to be 4 guilds in the game. Each guild is a team. Actually, the guilds aren't the teams themselves; they sponsor teams. But so there was originally going to be 4. They got so much Kickstarter response that it brought it up to 7 or 8 guilds, and one of them was designed with the help of a community member who was interested in the game, from Beasts of War. But he won the ability to help make it Guild Ball Guild from Beasts of War, and Steam Forged Games working together on that. But so there's 7 or 8 guilds now. It went way better than they thought it was going to, and the game's taking off all over the world as far as wargaming world like wildfire. You can't get parts for it right now for some of the guilds because the game's so popular that Steam Forged is sold out at their level, and most distributors are sold out.
Mm-hmm.
So
was it the Alchemists you were trying to get?
I was trying to get the Alchemists, and now I'm getting the Masons, no pun intended. But they make a mat. Steam Forged makes a mat for the game. But on Mini Market, it's $57. That means it's over $60 retail. It's like $65 probably retail. Mm-hmm. And doesn't have a carrying case with it. Whereas this other guy makes gaming mats, and he's making a field ball mat, Guild Ball. Even has all the correct lines on it. For $40 including the carrying case. And it's the same kind of polypro material. Basically, a lot of gaming mats nowadays are made out of mouse mats. Mm-hmm. Because the printing has gotten really good to do dice sublimation on mouse mats.
Grippy, and
miniatures bounce off of it.
Yeah.
They don't go and break, they bounce, which is nice. So a lot of gaming mats are being made out of that nowadays. And this guy has done other stuff before, and and this is just one of the products he's offering for this Kickstarter. So I'm seriously considering getting it because it's a $30-ish saving, $20 to $30 savings.
It's funny because when you brought up the soccer and field ball, and I said Blood Bowl, and I was like, immediately what popped into my head is remember the old electric football games?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do that, but with Blood Bowl characters.
Or even better, they're actually going to. But Guild Ball is coming out, but also Games Workshop is remaking Blood Bowl. I'm seriously considering picking that one up.
That's kind of nostalgic.
Yeah. I wanted Space Hulk, but I'm not as nostalgic about Space Hulk as I am about Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe they can do that as a stretch goal. Just create a simple figure miniature electric football game.
That would be funny.
Just as like a stretch goal for like if you do like fight like $400, maybe they'll kick in this
I would
little
say,
electric football game.
Games Workshop is never going to go to Kickstarter.
No.
But,
that's not. We don't.
Yeah.
Need it. It's fine.
As far as like
Games Workshop, you have disposable income. Fuck you, go away.
Yeah.
as far as me being personally involved in any crowdfunding things, the only one I helped back was my my cousin, Alex. He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he was the scrawniest kid on the planet.
A lot of bodybuilders were the strongest kids on the planet. That's why they started.
But he's super tanked and super fit. But there was a while back, about 5, maybe not quite 5, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, he blew out his wrist.
Yeah.
Lifting weights because he was just basically using bad form. So he was benching and it kicked his wrist all the way back, and it wasn't good for him.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he lost a lot of his wrist movement, and now his capacity of weight is limited for bare wrist.
Yeah.
But the thing is that for building, you technically don't need wrist power. You just need arm power.
Yeah.
So he actually put a prototype together and through 3D printing and stuff like that, actually built a wrist brace that you can use for bench press.
Yeah.
And so what it does is it creates a surface on the surface of the palm of your hand, and then uses your forearm
as a brace
for the weight. So all the pressure is taken off your hand. So he can now lift a lot more than he used to, without having to worry about blowing his wrist out again.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of support from other professional bodybuilders, like people you would probably recognize if you were in the bodybuilding field.
Yeah.
Which I am not, so none of these people. The only bodybuilder I know by name is a guy by the name of Kai Green. And he is the coolest dude on the planet. He's this,
what about Carrot Top?
Fuck Carrot Top. Yeah, he's not exactly the first name that comes to mind when you think bodybuilding.
Well, no, but it's just scary how ripped he got.
He is, very scary.
Carrot Top. Yeah, sexy bastard.
What did it was a documentary I watched on Netflix out of boredom one day, and it was about the world of bodybuilding competition. And it came down to this guy named Kai Green and another guy.
Carrot Top. Oh.
Yeah, Carrot Top. Which would be weird because that'd be 2 black guys against one really pasty fucking white guy.
Yeah.
But no, this guy named Kai, he's a performance artist on top of everything. Like he it's weird. Like he's kind of got these cool dreads where like all of his head is shaved except for the one like kind of long.
He has like a dread top knot basically.
Yeah. And the opening sequence of the documentary was him in like this like the white mask. I don't know how to. Like, you ever seen the Jabberwockies, the dancers? Yeah. They have the white, it's like a generic white mask. It's not like the Guy Fawkes mask, but just like...
It's the plain mask. Yeah. It's what those actually are meant to be... Those are meant to be decorated.
Right.
Yeah.
But he just left it white.
Yeah.
And all he did was he went down to like a... he went down to a subway station and just started like... He kind of dancing, kind of like performance art, but... He's like a fucking 350, 400-pound bodybuilder doing this crazy, cool performance art. And he's actually an artist. He's a fucking super talented painter. Like, he sits in his apartment and fucking paints all day, and just
the dude just happens to also be a bodybuilder.
Yeah, and so I kind of like personally just ended up falling in love with the guy because his personality doesn't match that of like what you would probably consider a bodybuilder.
Right.
But so the fact that he was an artist and had this really deep soul about him, I just kind of liked him as a person, so that's kind of why I ended up really liking his name. But he's also one of the world's top bodybuilders.
Yeah,
which is nuts. But I'm sorry I went off on that tangent and all of a sudden. But yeah, anyway, it was my cousin's Kickstarter for this wrist brace for Indiegogo. It didn't take off, but he thinks that if he reworks it, he's still investigating into it and puts together a better campaign for it.
Right.
He thinks he can get a lot more attention out of it than what he's gotten before. Rework the design of it maybe a little bit. And,
right.
And everything. So I backed it. I got my money back. but I hope he tries it again. So I would totally back him again.
Con Man.
What about Con Man?
That was on Indiegogo.
Oh, that's right. It was. Forgot about that. It was actually footed by Indiegogo.
What's Con Man?
I can't remember their name.
Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
About they're playing guys from an old sci-fi show that got canceled,
Right.
and they keep going to conventions like a decade later.
And Alan Tudyk's character is like, I can't fucking stand this, but Nathan Fillion's character is trying to convince him that it's all, part of the fun, or something like that.
I can't remember which direction it goes, because part of it is role reversal.
Well, it was a Stark off of
It's a Stark
the success
off
of Firefly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But it's all role reversal. So, like, Alan Tudyk's character was the captain, and Nathan Fillion's was the goofy one. But one of them hates going to cons. The other one loves it. But I think in reality they both like it. So
Well, I think Alan Tudyk's character was like more like, I should have been more successful than this. I can't believe I'm doing conventions type of thing. Like, he enjoys it, but it's like, and then Nathan Fillion's character is just trying to like convince him, like, this is fucking awesome. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude, we need to travel around the country and get paid to take pictures with people and sign shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because of one successful movie.
Yeah.
Or show.
Yep.
I had no idea that was an Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah, I had forgotten it was an Indiegogo campaign because, like, just with who's attached to it, I'm like, of course it got made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nerd community went, yeah, take my money.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, what I'm thinking is that even without Indiegogo or Kickstarter or anything like that, it would have gotten made, or I think it would have gotten made, not by Fox, mind you, but
no, Fox would be like, dare you? How fucking dare you?
Yeah, but somebody would have picked it up to produce it, realizing that no nerds are going to watch the fuck out of this,
Did you ever see the movie Fanboys?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
It was pretty funny. It was actually it was seriously a heartwarming story. At first I thought it was just gonna be like goofball antics.
Yeah.
But they they have like their stoner mobile, the fucking that van with like the painted sides on it and everything, like with the wizard or with Star Trek or whatever on the side of it. And it's got some famous faces. It's got Seth Rogen in it for a split second, and pits like the Star Wars against the Star Trek fans at some point, and William Shatner makes an appearance in it, and it's a hilarious story. But the idea behind the story is to make this one final trip. Is to see the premiere of episode 1.
Yes.
Was the idea behind it.
Yeah.
And their buddy had cancer.
Yep, that's right.
And they wanted to get his ass to where the movie was being made so he could see a pre-screen before he passed away.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of the whole idea of the movie, but along the way it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, that was a good movie. I have it on Blu-ray somewhere. So if you ever want to borrow it.
Yeah. So, ideas for fundraising campaigns for the future.
Well, if I have any good ones, I'm not going to let
Yeah, I'm not
them
going to
out.
fucking tell you.
Shot callers for Fox executives.
Oh. They might
Yeah.
need those. Well, like someone to be like, they're like, we got to cancel Firefly. And there's someone to be like, the fuck you don't.
Bzz, bzz, bzz,
Yeah.
bzz.
And you lean on that shot caller button and let them know that was a bad idea until we start making good ones.
Yeah. And so you could have it set up so that, however so many thousand people hit the shock 'em button, then it actually shocks them.
But that's just not Fox
Yeah, how about-
executives, too. That'd be like NBC, ABC. That's for anybody who has like a decent show that they're
Yeah,
gonna
but Fox
fucking-
killed Firefly, okay?
Yeah.
They did.
So
They did. But like, for example,
we're aimed at Fox.
I know that Hannibal was really popular, and all of a sudden they fucking canceled it out of nowhere. So, I mean,
Futurama.
but that was picked up by Comedy Central, so you can't really blame them too much.
But still, we need to make fun of Fox.
Yeah.
But Fox also still has The Simpsons, and they won't let it die.
Whereas, as much as I hate
In fact,
to say it,
if I'm not mistaken, they've dedicated an entire channel to nothing but Simpsons.
what?
FXXX or something like that. Like, it's just all, or maybe it was just a day thing. I don't remember, but there was a campaign where they ran all episodes, all seasons, back to back, front.
Yeah, I
the
remember
current
that,
season.
but that was leading up to the anniversary episode.
Maybe like 20th anniversary or something. 25th anniversary. However long they fucking been around.
It's like 30th anniversary or something.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
That's insane.
The thing is that as much as I do appreciate and love The Simpsons in a lot of ways, it might be time to let The Simpsons die. You know, I mean, yeah, they're popular, but I mean, The Simpsons have poked fun at The Simpsons for cracking the same jokes more than once. You know?
But then they adapt it for new technologies and new campaigns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're all eternally the same age.
Yep. Bart's like the oldest fourth grader in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that show will probably not be canceled until a main cast member dies. Like, that's really the only...
Almost happened.
Yeah, the guy who plays Homer, like, was diagnosed with cancer or something like that.
That and he wasn't technically a major cast member, but
Phil Hartman. Yeah. But he was also only playing secondary characters.
But he played like 4 of them.
Yes, I know. I know.
Is Matt Groening even involved in it anymore?
Well, it's his property, so...
Technically, yes. I doubt very much.
Yeah, I don't think he's like...
I think it's just like, he's pretty much just an executive producer or whatever at this point.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Throw money at it and get twice as much in return, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. I like Matt Groening. I liked him before he did Simpsons.
I never saw any of the shit that he did before The Simpsons. I know that The Simpsons is based off the comics that he did. Like, it wasn't just the family, but it was like basically the universe of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I remember reading those comics.
Yeah, Life in Hell.
Life in Hell, that's right.
Yeah, those are good. I still got a couple of those. What was that? Tracy Ullman show?
Sounds right.
Yeah, because I think that's where
the
Simpsons started. Because it was just these like little animated shorts on the Tracy Ullman show, and people liked it enough that they decided to start an actual show of that, and that's kind of the beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah, and now there's The Simpsons and no Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out that Red State, the Kevin Smith movie, was, I believe, crowdsourced. But that was before crowdsourcing was a thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Was that Red State? I thought that was Clerks 2.
No, Clerks 2 was, that's definitely something he's doing himself. Same with Mallrats 2, but Red State was
Clerks 2 was already...
crowdfunded.
Yeah, Clerks 2 was already out. We went and saw it together.
So not Clerks 2, Clerks 3.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. No, I thought Clerks 2 was crowdfunded.
No, Red State.
Jump over that table and slap your ass, man. Giggity.
Oh, man. Let me see. I want to see. Red State. I'm pretty sure it was Red State.
Red State.
Red State.
I'm close.
Road.
Walrus outfits.
I'm filling the silence with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because looking up shit on the internet's dead air, man.
So 2010, Kevin Smith may try crowdfunding horror film Red State after fans offer to do so.
I don't think he needed to in the end, though, right?
Yeah, I think Kevin Smith's got enough pull to do it.
You'd be surprised how little pull he actually has.
Yeah, he doesn't have much pull at all, really.
Which is funny, considering the laundry list of successful movies he's made.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's just that we perceive them as successful because we're the ones who go see them.
That's true. We're the fanboys.
We are the fanboys. Yeah. Granted, I didn't see Red State, but not a huge horror fan. So, sorry, Kevin.
Oh.
Nope. Moose Jaws.
Movies?
No, Moose Jaws. Literally, Jaws with a moose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's happening. Kevin Smith. Yeah. Yoga Hosers. And then...
I still think he needs to do the Jesus Zilla movie.
Jesus.
Isn't Yoga Hosers the one's going to have like Harley and her friend in it, and who I can't remember, it was Harley and.
So yeah, he was going to kickstart Clerks 3, but then decided not to because he wanted it to be his.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. Kevin Smith looking to crowdfund meeting with Jane Silent Bob. Red State 2011.
So yeah, Fox executives.
Yep.
Fuck them.
Okay, so for months, Smith maintained that the rights to the film would be auctioned off to a distributor at a controversial event to be held at its premiere at the Sundance Film Festival. But instead, Smith purchased the film himself, which, according to John Horn of Los Angeles Times, might have been a difficult sale for any distributor. Smith chose to self-distribute the picture. Oh, that's right, under Smodcast Pictures banner, which is a travel show. That's right. So he kind of crowdsourced it in the fact that he purchased the rights of the movie himself, and then he basically created his own business model and actually toured the movie as part of his podcast. So like he'd watch the movie, do a Q&A, and then they would do like Jay and Silent Bob Get Old or whatever their podcast was, and release that as part of the Smodcast podcast and as part of the crowdsourcing fund for the campaign. So they would kind of double tap it. But yeah, so he traveled himself. He did it himself, and it was released and distributed through Lionsgate. Yeah. So that was totally his baby.
Okay.
And that's right. He was looking to crowdsource it at one point and then stepped away from it.
Yeah. I think it's, from everything I've heard about Kevin Smith as a director, like his directing style and everything, I don't see him wanting to crowdsource anything because he'd have to give up creative control. And, if like Ben Affleck says like, can't instead of cannot, when he was supposed to say cannot, he beats him in a room for 3 days. He hates ad-libbing, in other words.
I know.
So, and I just want to do after Ben Affleck for some reason.
He's fun to go after.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he just is. He seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
You just kind of want to kick him in the verbal nuts a little every once in a while, just for fun.
Yeah.
That's that.
Or when your friend says you owe him one.
Yeah. I swear to God, Ben, if you're listening, and I know you're not.
He's not.
You need to get a hold of Kevin, and at least for 5 seconds,
be in Mallrats 2.
Be in Mallrats 2 as the owner of the proprietary mail or whatever the name of the fucking store was.
Yeah. Casual Mail.
Casual Mail.
I believe it was.
Yes.
Am I out Kevin Smith trivia and The Great Dustin?
Huh?
So did I just out Kevin Smith trivia, The Great Dustin?
A little bit. I don't know why I called it the proprietor. Oh, he was the proprietor of the Casual Mail. Yes. So I was getting my references crossed a little bit.
Like where? In the back of a Volkswagen?
Yeah. They update that into in the back of a Tesla.
No, Tesla's got room. So.
Oh, what is that?
Like what? In the back of a back of a Fiat?
In the back of a Chevy Volt? I don't know. I'm trying to think of an electric or a hybrid car.
Back
the
of
problem
Prius?
is most electric and hybrid cars are actually pretty roomy inside.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of room in the back.
Like what? In the back of a Yaris? No, there's still even room in the back of a Yaris. It's a sad thing.
Yeah. Oh, what's the not in the back of a Mini, but what's a smart car?
Oh, there's a back in a smart car?
No, there's not. That's the point.
Okay.
In the front of a smart car?
There's not.
Probably wrap this, huh?
Probably. I think we've stopped talking about crowdfunding about
a
10
long
minutes
time ago.
So, anyway, yeah. Unfortunately, none of you guys responded to our post online. We still love you, but it's okay. So I don't really have any responses from anybody. But, yeah, so that's kind of what that's our 411 on crowdfunding. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
It was fun. I learned a lot about miniatures and war games somehow out of this conversation. But
that's where I focus my Kickstarter attention.
It's about the only ones I look at.
Also, again, our buddy Dan Feldmeyer's got his own Kickstarter going right now. He just launched it a few days ago. We'll get that up on our Facebook page and whatnot. Huh?
You know what day it ends?
Hold that thought. Hold on.
Because if we know what day it ends, we can announce it here, and then also make sure we get it up on Facebook and our website in time.
The Art of Dan Feldmeyer. So you can search that on Kickstarter. It ends in 24 days, so it doesn't. Project will be funded if at least $2,500 is pledged by Thursday, May 5th, 2016, at 11:17 a.m. Mountain Time.
Awesome. So this will be out in plenty of time before that.
So yeah, and this is actually he does a lot of fan art too, but this book in particular is a lot of his own original ideas and a lot of his own original characters. So,
which is cool.
Yes. So if you donate $5, you get a thanks and a PDF of the art. It looks like there's also the $1 thanks. Tier 3 thanks and a PDF and either an 11x17 print or a bookmark. A metal bookmark. Early bird special. So if you get in there, $15, you get. Oh, it is a 4x6, a 4x6 hardcover mini art book.
Okay.
So if you get in there early for $15, you'll get a PDF of it and a 4x6 hardcover mini book. And then the list gets bigger and bigger. You get your choice of prints, and if you donate $40 or more, he'll give you it looks like a custom artwork. Yeah, you'll receive digital physical copies of the book, a print and metal bookmark of your choosing, but I'll also throw in a head sketch of any character on the inside of the cover of the book. So he'll give you a nice little custom drawing on the inside of the book before he sends it to you. So,
which is cool. Dan's a really good artist.
Yes, he is. You can go check his stuff out because it's awesome. You got these really cool alien characters that Jen absolutely hates because she hates aliens, like especially the Greys.
Yeah,
she's got a mental fear of those. Not sure if I should have said that out loud, but I don't care. But anyway, yeah, go check that out. We'll put that up on our Facebook page. And go Dan. Good luck, buddy.
Yep.
All right, that's it for now. For the Nerd Effect Podcast, we have been
Mike Mulligan,
Mason Ireland,
and I am Dustin Vancouver. And for those about to nerd, we salute you.